Right, so I'm going to take you through how I made Empire State Human in GarageBand. What you're looking at is the track view, which shows you all the various instruments and channels that have been recorded. The way I start off is, well, listening to the original, working out the notes. I'm usually quite good at getting that by ear, but if I can't, then I'll play the song into a instrument tuning app, and I think I did that a bit with this just to get the notes, so I knew what keys to strike. But I always start with the drum beat, which is what you should always do really, because that's your click track really. And if you get that wrong to begin with, and then you do everything else, and you've got to go and put the drum beat on afterwards, then you're going to get in a right mess basically. So start with the drums, then the bass line, and then start putting on the other synthesizers, then put down a guide vocal to sort of guide me through the rest of it. So I start recording the vocals just as a guide using the iPad microphone, then I'll record them properly with an external microphone later on to just give me a feel for the song and where it's going. And obviously I know the structure of the song, but it's just because it's a cover. I'm covering a song. I'm not writing a song. Yeah, it helps to put that down, and then I can sort of work out, that it's working basically. So the drum beat is the first. So I would start with a blank page. You wouldn't have all this. It would just there'd be nothing here. But the drum beat is the first thing I do, and there's a few ways you can capture a drum beat in GarageBand. In case of this one, the thing with Empire State Human is it's got quite a easy drum beat to start with, because the drum beat is on its own to begin with. I'll just play it to you actually. Let's have a listen. So it kicks off with a drum beat. And this is what if I go into the drum channel, so you've got a couple of ways you can record drums. There's a sequencer where you can basically plot where you want the drum beats to happen, then it just loops. Or you can do it the way I've done it for this one, which is, as we can see, going into the edit mode for this, you can see I've used a drum pad, and what you do is you press the record button and then you tap it out. So in the case of this one, I would have pressed record and then gone like this. That's me tapping on the drum there. And then, careful what I tap now. For each, it's doing an optimized performance thing, which it sometimes does, which is annoying. So then you can see you've got lots of instances of these. So if I recorded like one instance of that, I can then copy and paste it across that row, and then that will be your continuous drum beat basically. And you can use the metronome to make sure that your timings are okay. I find out the BPM of the song before I start working on it. Empire State Human is 131 beats per minute, I think. So you set the BPM in the settings. There, where you say tempo 131 there, and then you know obviously the GarageBand is on the same page in terms of what the general speed of the track is. So that's the drums, and that's the tom tom drum, and then you've got a snare drum, which I think I've done the same way actually. If I go into this, then I would have just been playing this, and then every so often go. That's the wrong snare. Hang on. Is it that one? I think it's that one. So I won't be playing that. I'd be playing. You can hear the snare, I think, under there, but it's basically it's going. So if I go into, just put these in monitor mode, just these two, and then you can hear what's going on. So that's how I've done the drums. I think I've recorded the tom tom and then the snare. Just, you know, play the tom tom and then tap along and press record and record the snare. So that's that. And what else? So on the original version of Empire State Human, you have that opening drum bit, and then it has a little zippy sound effect that kicks in. I'm just going to get the original version off my phone and try and play it for you. This is what it sounds like. Might sound tinny. So that's the original. So that that weird siren-y thing that comes in, that's probably not a good description for it, but that noise, that sound effect that comes in, I've simulated it as best I can, and that is basically just by researching what is in GarageBand. If I go into that one, and yeah, I've just gone through the various different synthesizers and instruments, and just been experimenting really. And you've got one here that's called Game Over, because I downloaded an 8-bit sound effects pack or 8-bit instruments that have all got a kind of like 8-bit computer vibe. And if you listen to this one, if you just press one key, it goes like this. Or if I go here at the top of the keyboard, and I thought, well, what if I just press the top key and then just slide down the keyboard? And that's how you get that sound, you see. Oh, it's a bit fast. I had to record it a couple of times to get the timing right. Anyway, so that's how I did that. And then you've only to record it once, and then obviously you can copy and paste it for every time that happens in the track. So you have it repeat here on the second chorus.
I'm gonna grow now and never stop. Big like a mountain, grow to the top.
So then you've got the bass here. It's not actually a bass guitar, but I've used a bass icon just so to remind me what's actually in that channel, because you can change the icons. And the way I've done this is very much like similar to the way I did the drums, in that I've tapped it out. I work out the notes, and I think it's A sharp. I think the on the intro. If I go into if I just go into this one, go into the keyboard. So yeah, I would have pressed that red record button and then gone, this isn't going to be right the way I'm doing it now, the timing will be wrong, but if it'd be something like, or is it? I can't remember the rhythm I used, but I'd record that. And then if it's a bit crap and you need to go in and tidy it up, you then go into the editor. So if you tap on the bit you've recorded and click edit, you then go into, I think this used to be called the piano roll, but you can then move or adjust or space differently the actual notes. Just tapping that key on the left there, you can work out what keys you need to press on the left hand side, and then you place them basically. So like this. Oh, you need to set it to edit first. You can move stuff, but you can't add new notes if you haven't got it in edit mode. There you go. And then you can place a note, and then you can grab it and then shrink it like that. or you can grab it and then drag it and move it. It is a bit fiddly. But the good thing about this is that, I've just got rid of that, you can record the rhythm, you can tap out the rhythm of the bit you want to do. And then when it changes note, since I was very young. So when the note changes, you can actually take a copy of that cell, if you like, and then for the cell you've made the copy, you can then drag the same points to another note, and then you basically, as long as the rhythm is the same, then you've easily just tapped out the next bit. So that's the bass, and then I've taken a copy of that and then edited it for the appropriate notes. And I think when you get to the chorus, I think the rhythm of the chorus is a bit different. So I would have recorded that again and then done the same sort of technique there. Same thing for the synthesizers. So you've got this on the different color synthesizers, just so to remind me which ones that they are. So that's the melody of that, and that's what's being played out there. And I think when I did this, rather than just holding it, you might not get the right tempo if you just hold the key down. So I think I was doing something along the lines of to record it. And same again, copy and paste it along there, and then you just drop your vocals in, and as I have done, you'll notice that I've got several vocal channels, and that's not always necessarily because I want to double track something, but it's easier to punch in when you want to re-record something if you don't have to worry about accidentally recording over the bit that's before it, if you know what I mean. So with the verses and the chorus, and I took the initiative here, and I try and find these ways of making things easy on myself. I've cloned the channel, and then you'll have a channel for the verse and then a channel for the chorus, so then you can, re-record the chorus without accidentally recording into the verse that you've already recorded, because obviously they're next to each other. So yeah, you've got verse.
I never wanted to be human size, so I avoid a crowd and traffic jams.
Incidentally, the vocals have got a filter, which in this case is called Sweet Chorus, I think. Although it says lead vocals there, that label is left over from how I originally recorded it. I think it's called Sweet Chorus, yeah. And which you can play with to get like a double tracking effect, so it sounds like there's more than one person singing. I have actually manually double tracked stuff with previous songs, like on the chorus to Blind Youth, I recorded the vocals twice, and for WXJL Tonight as well. But on this I was a bit lazy, and I've used Sweet Chorus to simulate a double tracking, and then on the chorus actually I've ramped it up so it sounds like there's even more voices on the chorus. So there you've got the verse. You've got this bit here, which I think is just me going, with concentration my size increased.
My size increased, but now I'm 14 stories high.
And the reason I did that on a separate channel is because, obviously, well, not obviously perhaps, but the volume and the EQ of the channel is the same all the way along for whatever you record, and I wanted to have a different volume and feel for that bit because it's a spoken word bit. So yeah, there's that. And of course, the other great thing is that if you've got a chorus, as long as the words are the same, and it's just the chorus, not all choruses, not all songs have got the same words for every chorus. They sometimes change a bit, but with this song, the words don't change, so you can just copy and paste the chorus rather than do it again, which I have done. So that's the channel for the chorus. What's on this one? I can't remember what's on this one.
Stone by stone, growing till he's fully grown.
So that's the bit on the original single. Well, I've re-recorded it, of course, but that's the bit where the other guys from the Human League are doing that chant in the background. So I've recorded my own voice doing that. But what I've also done is that on the original single, you have some little chipmunks joining in. Not really chipmunks, but they've pitch shifted the vocals of the guys doing the backing vocals, and so yeah, I thought, well, there's a fun, in inverted commas, set of fun filters on GarageBand that are on another tab, and one of them is chipmunk, and I thought, well, that's pretty much how it sounds like on the original. It basically sounds like a chipmunk singing. So here's your chipmunk, and it's basically, I think I've just copied and pasted the vocal I recorded of me doing that you just heard, but giving it a different effect.
Brick by brick, stone by stone, fully grown. Fetch more water, fetch more sand. Biggest person in the land.
It sounds a bit swirly, doesn't it? Because that, I don't know why it sounds like that. I don't know what I did to make it sound like that. Anyway, so you've got two lots of that. So you've actually got two chipmunks, if you like. And also what I've done there is you can see these sliders on the left-hand side. You can... I've played with the vocals when I was doing the mixing of this, when I'd finished recording everything and I was happy with how everything was, and just messed about with these sliders to try and get the right mix and the right balance. I'm certainly no expert at that, as somebody who is an expert at that would quite quickly point out, I should think. But, you know, things like the trebles turned up on that to make... That's that backing vocal of me doing the fetch more water, fetch more sand bit. But I'm doing it in quite a low voice, so I've turned the treble up a little bit to get it to cut through, because when I was listening to it, it didn't sound like... You don't want it to dominate the lead vocal, but you do want it to cut through a bit. So I've turned the treble up a little bit on that just to make that happen. And, well, that's an empty channel, so that's obviously something I was going to do and then decided not to. And then you've got this one at the bottom here, which is FX, which is when it comes to... let's take the monitoring off. When it comes to a certain part of the song, on the original Human League version of it, you have this bit. Now, Human League, obviously patently aware that that is quite repetitive, decided to jazz it up a little bit, because it's just repeating that and almost till fade, really. So they did something when it gets to this bit on the original. I couldn't simulate it without it sounding really bad, but basically there's like a grinding synthesizer noise that goes, and then it goes, and I could have tried to do that, but I couldn't be asked. So what I did was, the bit where it's supposed to sort of break it up a bit and make it sound a bit different, I went into this effects channel, where you can add an effect, and you play the track, and then you move. Can I show you this? I can't remember how to get into it. But you basically move like a freestyle cursor around the screen, and it will make the sound go wobbly all over the place. So it has this effect basically. This is what it is. And I in fact cut that effect short because the second half of it sounded pretty terrible. You know, like fingernails down a blackboard. So I just cut that in half so it didn't. Also, I forgot to mention this thing here, which is I think is quite close to the original instrument that's on the Human League version. I managed to find what's it actually called? Pulsing harmonic movement. This synthesizer is called. If I just go into it. So what would you call that? Like a chamber organ or a church organ or something? I was looking for a church organ sound, and I googled, is there like a church organ in GarageBand? And what came back mostly was people saying no, there isn't. And what you need to do is get a couple of different synthesizers and play them together, and then it will sound like an organ. But I found this one on its own. I thought it sounded pretty good. I mean, you'd need to listen to the original to know what I mean, but this is just isolate it. This is how it sounds on my version. And in the context of the song.
Big like a mountain, grow to the top. Tall, 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 I wanna be tall, tall, tall. As big as the wall, 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 as big as the wall, wall, wall.
It is quite subtle, but I found that if I had it too loud, it was quite excruciating. It needs to be kind of under the track, I think. So yeah, that's that pipe organ or chamber organ or whatever you want to call it. I was very pleased with how that came out, because that does sound quite a lot like the original organ that's on the Human League version. So that's it really. That's how I made Empire State Human. The recorded all the vocals and played about with the mix and got it to sound good. Tried it on a few different devices and sent it to my friend Sam, who could play it through her stereo system, which is able to have quite loud, I think, whereas I don't have that luxury where I'm living, because I've got a neighbour behind me who it's very sensitive hearing, shall we say. So I'm limited to headphones really when I'm trying to work out how things sound. And yeah, that's it basically. That is how I made Empire State Human on GarageBand. And have I missed anything out? I think that's pretty much it. And then gets converted to, well, not MP3, what's the other one, M4A, and gets released out into the world.